If another is behaving in a way that expresses a call for correction, it doesn't change the fact that innately and fundamentally and actually they are neither behind the point of perfection nor advancing toward it either. That they are at that point, and you do understand them therefrom, and so you speak to them, knowing that. You give what you know. And all that emanates from you is singular love, not love held up like a cross against a vampire. Let's go to the book. The section is called From Darkness to Light. When you are weary, remember, you have hurt yourself. When you're weary, when you're wearied by the dynamics of the human condition, when you're wearied by the ongoing, excellently thought out effort that you've put forth to live a good life and to be honest, and things go wrong, and it seems to you that your intention to be intelligent and righteous and loving hasn't acted like the cross that would be held up against a vampire. And the vampire seems to be getting you see. When you are wearied by doing what doesn't work, remember, you have hurt yourself. Here's another one of those terrible indictments against you. You sad jerks. You see? No. When you realize that you have been attempting to do something that doesn't work, it doesn't mean that you're stupid. It means that you're at a point of realization where, what? You can make a new choice. You're at a threshold where change can occur, and you realize that nobody else has to change, just you. Maybe you have to adopt a new way of standing or a new smile, but in this case you now know that in order to have a new behavior, you've got to have a new experience, a new conscious awareness that isn't arising out of your memory banks. In other words, you realize that you've hurt yourself by trying to be separate from the Father, trying to be an orphan, and trying to be successful at it, instead of saying, Father, I'm willing to have a father again so that I might know who I am, so that I might have my real identity back, instead of the one I made up for myself, which isn't getting me anywhere at all, you see? That's all it means. You have hurt yourself by doing something that doesn't work, and there's another way to do it, and here's what it is. And then explore the doing of it. You see? It's good news. But if you think that it's someone else that's hurt you, or circumstances that have hurt you, or the human condition that you've been submerged in, you poor divine soul, and that you just have to tolerate till you die out of it, when you know that nothing else is responsible for it, then you know the power you have available to you to change the situation. If it's all because you have been doing what won't work, then all you have to do is start doing what does work. And nothing in this universe, no human condition, no mortal existence, no hard-hearted individual can keep you from it. You're sovereign. You need to know that you're sovereign. But as long as you think that someone else has hurt you, instead of that you have hurt yourself, you won't find that place of sovereignty. That, I'm going to call it, that right of decision that abides with you, that supersedes everything else. So, you have the right of decision to go through your day expressing curiosity to see the more of God that is present than what you're currently seeing. And nobody can stop you from doing it. And nobody has kept you from seeing the more that is present. Except you saying, Father, I'd rather see it myself. I'd rather define it myself. And become a successful orphan. It's that simple. Again, when you are weary, and most of you are weary all the time, to one degree or another, of the anxiety of your lonely stance. When you are weary, remember, you have hurt yourself. Your comforter will rest you, but you cannot. Well, what is your comforter? What is the comforter? The Holy Spirit. Not something afar off. That which is nothing more than your right mind. Your comforter will rest you, but you, as an orphan, cannot. You, unjoined with your right mind, cannot give yourself rest. And in effect, that's what an orphan tries to do. Give himself rest from the dissonance inherent in trying to be what he is not, an orphan. On your own, you try to give yourself rest from suffering, not realizing that the suffering is simply the unavoidable experience which occurs when you try to be what you're not, an orphan. Your comforter will rest you, but you cannot. You do not know how, you as an orphan. For if you did, you could never have grown weary. The occasion for weariness wouldn't have happened because you wouldn't have been trying to do the impossible. Unless you have hurt yourselves, you could never suffer in any way, for that is not God's will for His Son. It's just not in the program. It's not in the way things work. Pain is not of him, for he knows no attack, and his peace surrounds you silently. Why would it surround you silently? Because in his peace, there is no awareness of conflict and no need for arrogant, loud, strenuous self-assertion against the enemy. God is very quiet, for there is no conflict in him. Conflict is the root of all evil. For being blind, it does not see whom it attacks. Just a moment. This is me, Paul. There's a word that's escaping me. Just a moment. Another way of saying this is that confusion, the absence of order, or non-integrated conscious awareness is the root of all evil. For being blind, having no cohesiveness to it, it does not see whom it attacks. I will tell you that it doesn't even know that it's attacking. And yet, because everything that comes forth from it is defense, it does constitute a lack of recognition of the benignness of that which it is afraid of. It does not see whom it attacks, yet it always attacks the only thing that's there, the Son of God. And the Son of God is you. God is singular. Therefore, mind is singular. Therefore, conscious awareness is singular. Not confused. Not polarized. Not disintegrated. This, therefore, is what you are. And it is the nature of your being. And this is what it is your birthright to be experiencing. And this is what you need to be curious to experience and let in. Your reliance upon your memory always attacks you by distracting you from a truly conscious awareness of what is going on. And engaging you in defending yourself against it. You go through your day in states of defense. But the only thing truly confronting you is reality with a capital R, the kingdom of heaven. The infinite presence of God called creation. God's Son is indeed in need of comfort, for he knows not what he does, believing his will is not his own. The kingdom is his, and yet he wanders homelessly. At home in God, in other words, at the point of perfection, where you are, at home in God, he is lonely. And amid all his brothers, he is friendless. But is it any surprise? You are at home amongst your brothers, the divine ones that are God in expression. And you don't see it. Why? Because you know who that bastard really is, don't you? And you know what a sleaze she is. And you know how undependable he is. And your definition rules supreme. You see? Now, let me ask you something. If, based on your definition, you have treated these people according to those definitions, do you think they're going to be happy? And when they express unhappiness at the way you are perceiving them, distressed at the way you're seeing them, you're going to say, see, I told you so. She doesn't have her peace. And boy, when she loses her temper, loses her cool, she's lost all ability to speak intelligently or rationally. She has provided me confirmation of my definition of her. You see, you have promoted it, and then you blame your brother for a natural response of distress at your not seeing them for who they are. At home in God, he, God's son or daughter, is lonely, and amid all his brothers, he is friendless. Oh, I can't let him be my friend. I can't dare to get close to him. Never can tell what'll happen. So you said, I won't be his friend, you see. I won't see anything worthwhile in him. Even if he's not behaving badly, human nature isn't dependable. So therefore I still won't get close to him. And you say, I will not be a friend to him. You make that decision and then you tuck it away, asserting in your mind that it's simple common sense and not a decision you have consciously made to exclude him, whether right or wrong. And then you will say, I don't have any friends. I am friendless. Now back to a little sanity. Would God let this be real if he did not will to be alone himself? Well, the answer is no. If he willed to be alone himself, then he would let this be real. You see? Would God let this be real if he did not will to be alone himself? And if your will is his, it cannot be true of you because it is not true of him. God is all inclusive. And the key word is inclusive. All is God. And exclusiveness is an impossible concept in that which is singularly infinite. Oh, my children, if you knew what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. Now, this doesn't mean, oh, my sweet dears, if you but knew, you poor things, what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. It's not a put down. If you knew what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. So, bring a little curiosity into play to see the more of what God wills for you right here and right now. Because right here and right now in what you are so sure is nothing more than a human condition is the kingdom of heaven and you, the Christ. The Christ presence. That is God presencing Himself right there as the fullness of you. Bring a little curiosity into play, desiring to have a fuller experience of that fact, and then expect to have a shift of perception and a shift of behavior, a spontaneous impetus to disregard memory and conditioned responses. Because the freedom to be present with what is real, knowing that it is real, allows you to be involved in what I'm going to call an interplay of real things. A spontaneous, unguarded ability to dance with infinity. All of it at once. But you're very afraid to let too many things go on because you won't be able to keep control of everything to make sure that you're safe. And so you keep yourself locked up in tininess because you don't know what you are. You are the capacity to dance with the infinite, to be in constant interplay with all of it without a need for control to make sure you're safe. Oh, my children, if you knew what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. So desire to know what God's will for you is, so that your joy may be complete. And, look at this. What He, God, wills has happened. For it was always true. Again, you're neither behind the point of perfection nor advancing toward it. Is this getting boring and monotonous? It's so simple. And the more often you hear it, the more often you're reminded of it, the more you will be inclined to be in the moment, minus the conditioned responses, minus memory, minus definitions you made up in the past when you thought you were an orphan, so that you are present with the light on in your mind that lets you see the light on in the human condition that reveals to you that it's really the kingdom of heaven in all its glory. I'm going to change the words here so it sounds less condescending. Oh, my brothers, if you know what God wills for you, your joy will be complete. So, give your attention there, give your curiosity there. And what He wills has happened. It's not off in the future for you. It's already happened. It's already the fact. It's something you cannot actually escape, even though you can ignore it conscientiously. For it was always true. When the light comes, and we are talking about moving from darkness to light. Darkness meaning the unconsciousness of conditioned responses and made-up definitions of yourself, moving from that into the unguarded, unpretentious willingness to stand fluidly and flexibly in the middle of the movement of life, not resisting any of it and not trying to be in charge of any of it, so that what is really going on might register with you, cause a sudden shift of perception, an aha, that lets you recognize the divinity, the innate worth and value of each and everything, so that you can respond to it on the basis of what it really is, at the same time being aware that you, what is responding to what it really is in his or her right mind. When the light comes, and you have said, God's will is mine, instead of claiming, my will is mine, unjoined me has a will of my own that is mine, you will see such beauty that you will know it is not of you, meaning the orphan. Out of your joy, you will create beauty in His name. Does that mean you're going to be a walking advertisement for God? Is that what it means? That you're going to create beauty in His name? No, it means that you're going to create beauty without leaving Him out of it. Without leaving God out of it. By choosing to be the sole authorizer of it. You see? Out of your joy you will create beauty in His name. It's natural for you to know that the beauty you express is divine. Is it divine because of some private divine authority you have? No, it's divine because you are the presence of God in action. You have a Father. You have a relationship. You're not alone. You have a source. And so you will create beauty without leaving your source out of it.